kids, can I offer you some, existential dread this fine morning? Let's talk about dead clades walking, also known as extinction debt. So extinction debt is a very interesting and also sad concept where a certain species is basically just living on borrowed time, and its fate is pretty much inevitable. A certain species in a dead clade walking is pretty much guaranteed to go extinct in the near future. However, it's not so much due to recent events, but due to something that happened in the past. Another term for this is survival without recovery, where a species has undergone some sort of disturbance in the population. Modern ones are pretty much entirely just due to habitat loss, but the survival is still ongoing. The species is not extinct yet. However, they, for example, no longer have a good viable habitat, so there is not really any possibility for these species to rebound back from this disturbance. An example that is quite often used is the Amazon rainforest, where deforestation, especially past deforestation, while not initially killing off a species itself, has caused the species to go into debt for the extinction debt. And then due to this deforestation in the Amazon, this species is pretty much guaranteed to go extinct at some point. Another example of this is certain grasslands. When these specific grasslands were kind of destroyed to make way for towns and roads and agriculture, many species of moths and butterflies that relied on that grassland had their habitat pretty much entirely demolished or super heavily fragmented. This didn't cause the extinction of the butterflies immediately, but in the near future, these butterflies are pretty much going to go extinct as the pockets of viable land get smaller and smaller, and the populations get more and more fragmented and lose genetic diversity. Another example of this that is a pretty good and easy to understand one is the late Cretaceous extinction event that killed off all of the non-avian dinosaurs. Now, what a lot of people don't know about this extinction event is not every single dinosaur on the planet died immediately. Obviously not, as we still have birds, and birds are the descendants of the dinosaurs, but there were a few remaining populations of non-avian dinosaurs that survived the initial impact. Some of them survived for a decent while after, and while conditions on the planet were absolutely dogshit hell to live in, there were some remaining populations of certain species of non-avian dinosaurs that lasted for a while. However, due to the entire planet being bad for dinosaurs, they did eventually go extinct, thus paying off their extinction debt. The dinosaurs were a very good past example of a dead clade walking that survived the initial disturbance that basically sealed their fate, but they couldn't stick it out and had to pay off that debt. Now, where the existential dread is going to come in, a lot of sources are saying that humans are also currently in extinction debt and are our own dead clade walking. Humans as a whole have gone through a couple different bottleneck events, which is where the population globally of humans have gotten down so low there are only a few hundred individuals left, and while those few hundred individuals did survive to repopulate into our modern humans and all of that, we did lose a whole lot of genetic diversity. There's been a couple times where globally humans have almost gone extinct in the past, only to repopulate with very low genes. This lack of genetic diversity, combined with ever-decreasing birth rates in many, many countries around the world, combined with the environmental damage we are doing and all of the health stuff we have going on with the lead and the microplastics and the pesticides and all of that, humans are very quickly going into extinction debt, and with that we are dragging millions of other species with us. Again, due to things like human-caused habitat destruction or again, pesticides or coral bleaching in the ocean, all of that, we are dragging a lot of the Earth down with us. Now, this isn't to say that eventually the Earth will recover and bound back with new and interesting species, and this also isn't to say that humans are going extinct right now, everybody's gonna die right now. Likely it will take a minimum of a couple thousand years for humans to die out, and who knows, if we get our shit together, we may actually last quite a lot longer than that, up to a few 100,000 million or even possibly billions of years. Now, humans in the future are definitely not going to look like us any more than we looked a lot like Homo erectus or Australopithecus, our early human ancestors. Possibly even Homo sapiens might go extinct and we either give rise to a new human descendant, a new group of Homo genus. So who knows, even if Homo sapiens as a whole do go extinct, maybe we'll give rise to different descendants, or maybe there will give rise to a new dominant type of life on Earth. Who knows? It's in the future, and that's not really our problem. So try to save the planet and make it better for future inhabitants, be that human or not.